welcome back for another lore video. As many of you know, the events from the Dungeons & Dragons adventure Descent into Avernus will be tied in some way or form to Baldur's Gate 3. So continuing my Baldur's Gate 3 history lore series, I thought I'd share the story of Descent into Avernus. If you guys missed my lore videos on the stories of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, make sure to check those out. Descent into Avernus will be a multi-part video series, and in today's video I'm going to focus on the prologue, the background to the adventure, which has some really important, interesting lore. Before I get started, I want to say thank you to my most recent patrons, Nick, Adaram, Alice/Necros, and Gaiden, and also thank you to my channel members, John and Magnus. Your support truly means a lot, guys. I can't thank you enough. If you guys end up enjoying this video, please subscribe through much more Baldur's Gate 3 content on the way. Links to my Twitter and my Discord server will be below. Let's get right into it. It's the year 1494 Dal Reckoning, over a century after the events of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 have occurred. The holy city of Elturel has disappeared from the Forgotten Realms and descended into Avernus, the first layer of the Nine Hells. Avernus was a charred wasteland of vast ashen plains with occasional foothills and mountains heaped with broken rocks, and it was ruled by archdevils. Elturel was a city-state lying on the river Chianthar, which is the same river Baldur's Gate is located on. It was a city of great prosperity, a center for agriculture and trade, and therefore a competitor of Baldur's Gate. What Elturel was currently undergoing would soon become the fate of Baldur's Gate as well, if something is not done. 142 years before the start of Descent into Avernus, in 1352 Dal Reckoning, an angel named Zariel had led an army out of Elturel to go fight in the Blood War in Avernus, which was the main site of the majority of the war's conflicts. The Blood War was an ongoing chaotic war between devils and demons. Demons were chaotic evil, and they wanted the destruction of everything living, while devils were of a lawful evil alignment and wanted to preserve the worlds of the living, for without them they would have no one to enact their own evil schemes on, no one to dominate. A war of two evils. However, if the demons were to succeed, it would be the end of everyone. The celestial Zariel watched as this war raged on, destroying vast swaths of the multiverse in the process. She chastised her peers for not getting involved with the Blood War, for she felt it was an angel's responsibility to destroy evil rather than stand back and watch. One day she had had enough, and she left Mount Celestia and went to the city of Elturel, where she was able to rally an army of warriors to fight in the Blood War and help put an end to the great evil that was affecting everyone. Zariel and her army descended into the first layer of the Nine Hells, Avernus, in an epic charge known as the Ride. They took their fight to the Archdevil Bel and his infernal legions, and while many did fight bravely, the horrors of the Nine Hells proved far too great for some. The ones that fled back through the portal sealed it behind themselves, betraying their own people. Elturel's army was known as the Hell Riders, and they were well renowned and respected, but this shameful betrayal would be a badge of dishonor they would carry to their graves. Zariel's army would ultimately be defeated, and she was captured and sent to the lowest layer of the Nine Hells, Nessus, to be brought before the Lord of the Nine Hells, the ruler of all devils, Asmodeus. To her surprise, Asmodeus welcomed her with open arms and commended her for her battle prowess and strength of her convictions. Asmodeus would offer Zariel rulership over Avernus herself if she were to swear fealty to him in the Nine Hells. In this position of power, she could let out her rage on the demons with her own legions of devils. Although both sides of the Blood War are evil, the demons certainly possess more of a threat of complete chaotic destruction. Zariel, once an honorable heroic celestial, accepts Asmodeus' terms and ultimately becomes an archdevil of Avernus. In her newly acquired position of power, Zariel has not forgotten the Hell Riders that betrayed her, and she kept her eye on the city of Elturel, waiting for the day where she could enact her revenge. That day came in 1444 Dal Reckoning, when the city of Elturel was conquered by a vampire lord. Zariel saw this as an opportunity, for the city was in panic and desperation. She would emerge from a pillar of fire and speak to a priest of Torm named Thavius Krieg, who was desperate for any and all help to save himself and the holy city. They would make a deal, but Zariel was not in the business of saving the city that betrayed her. Thavius signed a contract with Zariel that would bring him great personal gain and power over the city, but in the long run cause its destruction, as it would be taken over by Zariel herself. The details of this infernal contract would be kept in an infernal puzzle box, and you will eventually seek this out to aid in your knowledge for saving not only Elturel, but Baldur's Gate as well. After this deal was made, a radiant sphere created by Zariel, called the Companion, appeared in the sky over the city of Elturel. The Companion was a blazing-like second sun, powered by a planetar improvised within it, and it bathed Elturel and the surrounding countryside in a holy light. The light laid waste to the undead army in the city, and it sent the vampire lord scrambling for the shadows. The city was saved, and Thavius would take credit for summoning the Companion. He was hailed as the savior of the city and rose to become its higher overseer. But then the day finally came when it was Zariel's turn to reap the benefits of the contract. Thavius, aware of what was soon to come, urged the Grand Duke of Baldur's Gate, Alder Ravengard, to visit his city of Elturel to help solve some standing disputes between the two cities. Alder Ravengard was also a lifelong soldier and current marshal of the Flaming Fist, which were a mercenary band that served as the city guard for Baldur's Gate. Ravengard was highly disciplined and possessed a great sense of duty to his city, but he was reluctant to go on this diplomatic mission, for he knew that it was unlikely that Thavius truly had good intentions for both cities. Eventually, he was convinced to make the journey to Elturel by the other dukes of Baldur's Gate, but mainly by a woman by the name of Thalamra Vanthampur. The Companion in the sky, once a savior of the city, then began to transform from a radiant sun into a black orb emitting cackling powerful energy. The city of Elturel was then ripped from the material plane, and the city and all of its inhabitants were transported to Avernus. Thavius Krieg, however, had left the city, knowing what was to transpire, but Alder Ravengard was unfortunately present to attend the diplomatic meeting that he didn't want to attend in the first place. Elturel was teleported to Avernus and is now anchored by the chains of Avernus, and the city is doomed to drown in the River Styx if nothing is done to save it. The River Styx was also known as the Blood River, is a river that's linked to the topmost layers of the lower planes, and offered a way to travel between these planes. Styx was the backbone of the Blood War, and demons would attempt to use it to enter Avernus from the abyss. Those who touched or drank from the river would completely forget their past, and their souls would be easy prey for denizens of the lower planes. Thavius Krieg has arrived at Baldur's Gate with news of Elturel's destruction. He was able to slip through the city's gates and take refuge with none other than Thalamra Vanthampur, the Duke who was set on convincing Alder Ravengard to go to Elturel. This is where your story begins for Descent into Avernus. You find yourself at the Basilisk Gate, which was an entrance into Baldur's Gate located on the northeast side of the city. There's an influx of refugees from Elturel, and with the disappearance of Alder Ravengard, the city is beginning to enter a state of chaos. At the gate is a Flaming Fist captain named Captain Zaj, who is attempting to hold the peace through less than decent measures, for he wants to impress Commander Portier, a Flaming Fist commander of a different stronghold. She has been summoned to take control of the Flaming Fist in Baldur's Gate. Without the leadership of Alder Ravengard, the Flaming Fist is starting to lose control. Captain Zaj spots your party and says, "The refugee crisis has stoked fears that Baldur's Gate might suffer the same fate as Elturel, of which nothing remains but a hole in the ground. Apparently, our Grand Duke Alder Ravengard was visiting Elturel on a diplomatic mission when the city was destroyed. Coincidence? I think not. The Knights of Elturgard call themselves the Hell Riders. A few of them escape the destruction and think we're somehow to blame for Elturel's downfall. What a bunch of self-righteous rabble-rousers. We're arresting them on sight, but that's left us short-handed to deal with another problem. And for that, I need your help. And that will conclude today's video. As you can tell, we're only just starting the Descent into Avernus campaign story right now, and there's already a hell of a lot going on. If you guys don't want to miss part 2, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I will tell you guys that the problem that Captain Zodge is referring to deals with none other than the Dead 3, which I did do a lore video on the Dead 3 as well. I'll have the playlist to all my lore videos pop up right now in the video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It's a huge help to my videos. I do all sorts of content on this channel, ranging from comedy videos to live streams to game reviews to game tutorials and much more. I'd love to see some of you guys on a future video. Until next time.